I really wanted to like Anthem. Over the years, BioWare has created such memorable journeys for its players, scaly, sexy, spacey, and otherwise, that the thought of such a single-player narrative playing out across a multiplayer structure akin to games like Destiny was seriously exciting. But Anthem actually, spectacularly, manages to fail at both aspects of that idea. The single-player aspect of Anthem never evolves enough to resemble anything akin to the satisfying narrative experience, while the mission structure and multiplayer trappings are nowhere near finished enough for a game of this caliber. What you're left with is an empty, utterly frustrating, it genuinely makes me sad. Hi, I'm Bailey from Unlocked Games, and this is our review for EA's Anthem. On the surface, there's a lot to love about Anthem. The core appeal lies in the game's mech suits, known as javelins. There are 4 to choose from, each offering a different playstyle, from the tank-like Colossus to the very sleek, fast and feminine Interceptor, and the space wizard Storm. Oh, and there's the basic all-rounder Ranger, but no one will willingly choose that one. A lot of Anthem's fun comes from the customizing these javelins, working out how to create the mech suits of your dreams and from the colours, materials and attachments on offer. Seeing that chrome glint in the light will never get boring. Once you've settled on your neon cyberpunk javelin, that joy is amplified by discovering the way your javelin moves around the world, known as Bastion. The transition between the walking and flying, with the rumble of jets pounding through your controller, the unique movement style of each mech, it's all incredibly good fun. It's an utterly beautiful place to explore too, with an aesthetic that hints at the lore buried beneath it. That is the world made by some otherworldly creature, an unfinished world that almost being pieced together by taking the prettiest elements of Earth and smash them into one locale. Anthem is one of the most beautiful games I've ever played, filled with moments where you just stop to an awe, a waterfall, and marvel at what BioWare has created here. But part of that comes from the idea that sometimes there's a little else to do with the Bastion that's appeal in the long term. It's almost incredible how quickly the appeal of Anthem's world wears off. Its beauty in one skin deep, and that really is Anthem's biggest problem. But there are plenty more with Anthem's multiplayer than just the launch bay. Rubber banding is a huge issue for this multiplayer title. I've lost count on the number of times I've dropped into a mission only to be told I'm outside the mission area to be walked to the rest of my squad. You regularly miss out on vital mission information because of it, which doesn't help its major problem with scene setting, and forces you to watch loading screen after loading screen just to get into action, which has sometimes even finished by the time you caught up. Even after the day 1 patch, the loading screens are painfully awful, with them cropping up whenever you move from one area to another. Heck, you have to watch 2 just to get to the in one and out of the loading menu, which is frustratingly only available from the Forge within Forge Tourists. It's also strange that for a game focused on 4-player co-op, you never really have to interact with your fellow Javelin pilots, beyond staying together as a group, and occasionally pulling off combos against the more tricky foes. The mission structure is that it's just you, never felt like you're working as a team, and they usually consist of fighting off waves of enemies while waiting inside a magic circle or collecting fragments of anything to stop anything exploding. The later story may distract you from the repetition at some points, but there's never really any true variation. The endgame only serves to highlight that too. As I reached in some 30 hours in, I'm faced with another set of checklists to complete, which effectively involves grinding through another 25 quick play missions. Without the narrative wrapping, Anthem's core's repetition is exposed. Of course, it doesn't help that the game is still riddled with bugs, server errors, and other quirks that sometimes make the simple act of getting into a mission a real struggle. Great javelins, awesome powers, and a stunning land set that you can get so far, but with no real deep content to fill in the world with. Anthem becomes a game that's devoid of soul. Obviously, it's intended as a game that will evolve over time, as Destiny has proved. It's impossible to turn it all around within the months, and possibly years to come. We'll be coming back to Anthem with an updated review after the first few additions in the roadmap have been implemented, but BioWare's latest has a very long way to go before it can class as one of the greats as a console generation, let alone a game worth playing. At the end of the day, Anthem is ultimately served flawed and very unfinished. There's a half a good game in there, but it doesn't do enough to diminish the overall feeling of emptiness and repetition. Here at Unlocked Games, we can't give this game any more than it's just a broken game, and I really recommend maybe missing this out until maybe future content starts coming in, which is a real shame, because I'm somebody who's in love with BioWare, and I'm just disappointed what this happened. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to leave a comment down below and let us know what you think of Anthem. Anyways, this is Bailey signing off.